Many people do not understand that aim is a lot more than just muscle memory. There are many in-game mechanics that actually absolutely adjust your aim and make your aim assist even stronger. In this guide, you are going to learn the exact tips that I used in my path of becoming a professional Apex player. A year ago, I actually was not able to one-clip anything even while playing a controller. But now my aim has become so good that people actually accuse me of cheating.
I just got shit on, Jesus Christ.
He one-clipped you fast.
It's because like he was
So no, I do not use a Zen or any type of cheating device like a strike pack or any of that scripting stuff. I was an MVP and multi-time champion in another shooter called Gears of War. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, you hit that like button, and stick around until the end so I can have you 1v3ing like this. And remember guys, good accuracy will always be a counter to gut movement.
I got you.
Oh, shots. Just killing. He's swinging. Really nice. You're so much fucking better, dude.
So let's dive right into it. The first thing we're going to look at before we get into anything is we're going to look at your sensitivity. We have to make sure you are comfortable so you can be shooting at an optimal level. I've already made a video on this, as you can see right here on the screen, because sensitivity is not a one size fits all. But for my lower tier and my middle to intermediate tier, this would be maybe it's like top as a platinum level. I would say you try 4-3 classic. For my more advanced players that they have a good feel for the controller, I want you to try 4-3 linear, no dead zone or small dead zone. So after this video, I advise all of you guys to go check out that video as well so you can get to a perfect point of your sensitivity, and you can also get rid of a lot of that unnecessary visual clutter that we hate in Apex Legends. So the first thing I would like you guys to start doing is give yourself a nice 5 to 10 minute firing range sessions where you put the dummy strafe speed on walk or you put it on run, and you just constantly just keep on going over how your feel for the controller is, and you just simply warm yourself up. That will give you a nice increase off rip so you do not start off having bad games and shoot down your own mental. So while you are in the range, make sure that you guys are trying out every single gun. This is huge so you can have a way bigger variety of guns that you're comfortable with, but at the same time you can still have your go-to 3 weapons. Because the truth is, when you're playing Apex, sometimes your loot can be bad off rip and you don't really get the selection you want. Personally, I've spent many hours in the firing range. They'll expect you to shoot like me within the first 5 minutes. This does take a little bit of time, so make sure you bear with yourself and just keep on consistently grinding. The repetition of being in the range is actually what's going to make your aim increase a lot and make you have a way better feel for your recoil control and bullet drop and other things that I will explain later in this video. So the next tip I have for you guys is a passive aim tip called screen centering. I noticed that I'll be moving to a new position and I needed to keep my crosshair centered on a target in anticipation that an enemy may appear. This is something I didn't really do too long ago, simply because it felt way more natural for me to have my screen more angled towards the ground. I don't know why, but I always felt like I could see more while doing this, but all honesty, it's actually messed up my shot a lot more because it gave me way too much room for error. So there are ways to make this much better instantly, and these are some drills that I use to increase my screen centering. First, you want to find a door and you want to just strafe right around it and keep going back and forth while keeping your screen perfectly centered towards where a headshot or where your high shoulder area would be. After you get comfortable with strafing with just this, you want to try to add in a little snap and maybe go from a window to the door or between 2 windows and just go back and forth. This will also help your snapping screen centering so you can move from one target to another. Another good thing about this drill is that it doesn't use aim assist, so when aim assist kicks in, you have a real target in front of you. You're going to feel a very strong pull right towards the enemy that you're looking at. And this is why we talked about sensitivity first. If you're either under pulling, you might want to go up 1 sense. If you're over pulling, you might want to go down 1 sense. Alright, so make sure you're very comfortable and you're able to do this with ease, because this should not be too hard of a drill, and make sure you take your time. Another tip for this is to start off slow and keep on getting faster as you progress in time. Doing this will make sure you have very precise control, whether you have to do hard pulls and instant react to something, or you have to do very small minuscule adjustments to correct your aim. Your game sense is going to get better, and that also means your screen centering is going to get better. And that's only because you're going to be able to predict where enemies are coming from at an easier rate. So try to stay as composed as you can to try to take in all the knowledge and the flow of the game, as you continue to get better. Also, another part of this drill is to make sure that you try this on different terrain and also try this in different levels, right? Because not everybody's gonna always be right in front of you on the same type of ground that you. It might be on high ground, it might be on low ground. Now we get on to the next tip. This is funny for me only because this is where all my Zen allegations come from. And this tip is recoil control. I'm going to show you guys 2 different ways that I like to control my recoil and why I'm able to beam at such a high degree. The first way is the standard way to control recoil. This is when you are just standing still and you are learning the exact recoil pattern and you're trying to get it down. But what I would say about this is I don't use this one too much simply because when playing Apex, it is such a fast-paced game that you are never truly at a standstill. Because most of those times when you're ever trying to stand still, you're probably going to get beamed. But here you are. These are all the recoil patterns in the game, and if you trace these directly, you will have absolute perfect recoil control. But to be honest, being a controller, this isn't going to always be too easy. So because of that, I understood another way, and I will be teaching you guys another way to control recoil that you can do, and it will literally improve you instantly. This tip is called recoil smoothing. Now it is so simple to do, and you guys can literally try this alongside with me. In every single one of my clips, I use recoil smoothing all of the time. All of your professional players that are on controller also abuse recoil smoothing. Apex has made it so much easier to control recoil simply because of the fact that your movement actually counters your recoil. So with that being said, let's look at me use recoil smoothing and without recoil smoothing so you can see a comparison when I do the same exact input on my controller. All smoothing is a basic movement walking to the left or the right side. Make sure you're moving your right stick in the opposite direction so you can constantly stay on target and center your screen on your enemy. If you notice, almost all of the horizontal recoil goes away instantly when you're using recoil smoothing. This is so much easier, and I use this in literally every single part of the firing range clips, as you can see, as I'm just walking around beaming everything. This also works perfectly for all of your automatic weapons and even a few of the marksman weapons in this game, being the G7 and the 3030. This next tip is very quick, and it is bullet drop. This only really matters when you're shooting at a very long range. I would say anything above 150 meters. That's when you'll start noticing a little bit of bullet drop. So for that, you have to overcompensate and lead your shots a little bit or aim a tiny bit higher than you normally would. So it's not going to always look like it's pinpoint with your reticle, and I want you to mainly focus on where your bullets are going instead of exactly where your reticle is directed to. So of course, the further you are away, the higher you're going to have to go, or the more you're going to have to lead your shot. So make sure you look for that. And I think the best sight for shooting at very long ranges with the marksman weapon or even an AR is going to be your 2-to-4 sight, since it has the 4x zoom. And you can use the little dashes as a reticle to help you shoot at a longer range. And for the final tips, which I would say are bonus tips, here are 2 aim assist exploits that will help you beam people at the mid to close range. Now what we're about to do is make it feel like you have a purple laser on your marksman rifles and your AR. Yes, I know how insane that sounds, but this is going to make your hip fire look absolutely insane. This is definitely one of my favorite aim assist exploits that I use on a regular. So here we're going to look at the standard hip fire for a few of your ARs. And then we're going to try to use a trick that I have for you guys. Now here's the trick to make it like it has a purple laser on it. All you need to do is ADS spam. Don't do it too fast or you're gonna throw yourself off target. You just need to do an occasional zoom in. What this does is it actually makes the next about 7 to 8 bullets out of your AR hip fire become 100% accurate. So the last tip is actually something we've already seen before, which is basically just recoil smoothing. But it's called runway strafing, or it's called a counter strafe. Now when you are counter strafing, just know that your aim assist is going to drag the most. But when you do start strafing more, you actually lose a bit of aim assist. Also on top of this, if you play on the classic setting for your response curve, when you're in point blank range, you will not lose aim assist. But if you do play on linear, it's going to feel a little harder when you're at an absolute point blank like barrel stuff range. So with that being said, make sure you guys practice, practice, and practice. The firing range is so good to just chill and just listen to music and just, you know, shoot some bots for a second, really get a feel for your sensitivity, your controller, and all the guns in the game, alright? So now we have reached the end of the video. Make sure you guys follow all of my socials if you haven't already. My Twitter is _Avexys. My YouTube is obviously Avexys, and make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe for your boy. Also, be on the lookout for my movement guide coming soon, because there are a few things that we do need to know as controller players that will help us a lot in the long run. So once again, thank you guys for watching. I love all of you guys, and I will see you in the next one.